Hello, Podcast Nation. Welcome to the Be Great, Be Kind, Steve Kim Experience Podcast, numero 9. I'm super excited as I have one of one of my best friends on the podcast with me. He is just such an incredibly genuine, kind-hearted, hardworking, honest, amazing human being. And the moment I met him, we just kind of hit it off. You know, I gave him a little bit of a razzing because he was just starting off, but I quickly realized and I knew that just how incredible this person was, and we've developed kind of this relationship, right? What, like over a decade, and brother, exactly, like family. And he's absolutely one of my best friends. So I'm super excited that you're here, that you took some time out of your busy day and weeks because you got a brand new beautiful baby at home, and I'm sure that's consuming a ton of your time. But I just want to say thank you so much for coming here to kind of share your experiences and speak your truth. So
thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So let's get right into it. So this is Levi Gorin. So Levi Gorin, tell me, how was it like growing up on the mean streets of Thornhill?
The not so mean streets of Thornhill.
Yeah.
Life was good, and big shout outs to my mom and dad and my sister. So my sister is 10 years older than me. I think, you know, when my parents came to Canada, and they came with nothing, it's kind of the typical immigrant story.
Yeah.
So I think my sister really had kind of lived that life, you know.
Yeah.
And I know my parents had worked so hard, and my dad had multiple jobs, and my mom was trying her best, and they moved around a lot, and all that. And I know, you know, I know my sister went through stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was tough for her, and she won't probably admit to it or that, but it was tough. But you know, kind of when I was born, I feel like things were good. So I feel like, you know, I kind of bypassed that part of life.
Okay.
And I grew up, you know, I wouldn't say privileged, but to me everything felt good.
Yeah.
You know, like I had a good life and a great upbringing and a warm home, and I just felt loved, you know, and I had a good kind of core set of friends, and had a great experience in school, and it was great. So, you know, no complaints. Thornhill's been good to me.
It's made you hard. The mean streets of Thornhill made you hard. So I want to just kind of quickly talk about that immigrant experience because, you know, my parents being immigrants as well, like kind of growing up in that household. When I was living through it, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is, at that time, because I was young. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is the type of lifestyle that, you know, I want to, you know, the quote unquote typical lifestyle when, you know, my friends were, you know, their parents were born here and things like that. But looking back on it now, I think having an immigrant lifestyle, immigrant parents, working hard, growing up, you know, not with like tons and tons of money, has helped me to become the person who I am today. So just understanding the concept of like hard work, understanding the value of money.
Yeah.
Like,
and I know my mom always, you know, talks about now how I would beg to go to Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Like it was my favorite place to be.
It's still my favorite place.
Yeah. And she would be brutally honest with me in the store and be like, we don't have money for those things.
Yeah.
And I would always eye those kids. And I grew up in a co-op, and, you know, a lot of renters, people in RGI, and stuff like that. So for me, I didn't always see like tremendous wealth, but I went to school with people who lived in those mansions.
Yeah.
You know? And, and I got to see a glimpse into that and all the things that they had. And I remember learning at an early age, like the value of a dollar, like how hard it is to earn a dollar, but how easy it is to spend one.
Oh man.
And
I think that's almost like the immigrant mantra, right? Like it's truly like it's so hard to make money, but it's so easy to spend it, right?
You can blow it in an instant.
Yeah.
And I remember coming home upset when I realized my friends had this thing called an allowance. I've never heard of the word.
Yeah.
And they're like, let me get this straight. You get money every week.
Yeah.
Just cuz.
Yeah.
Right? And I came home and I was like huffing and puffing. I'm like, Mom, right? When do I get my allowance?
Yeah.
And she looked at me and was like, what's an allowance? You know, like, you know, whatever. Like, Dan over there, he gets like $5 a week.
Yeah.
She's like, for doing what? He's like, I don't know, just cause
he's living and breathing.
Yeah.
In a house he doesn't pay anything for.
My mom quickly was like, that's not how the world works. No
massive shout out to you, Mama Goran. That's the right way. That's the best message.
And she'd always say to me, it's like, I'm your mother. I will provide for you. You need to eat, I'm going to feed you. You need a roof over your head, it's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm not just going to give you money.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that money? She said, you're going to go to the convenience store, you're going to blow it.
Yeah.
You don't know how hard I worked to earn that $5.
Yes.
I'm not just going to give it to you. And
I love it.
Have
you taken, let me ask you, because, Emma's young, she's a baby.
Yeah.
Sorry to kind of cut you off.
No.
Do you think you're going to use the same way that your parents taught you about money, the value of money? Do you think you'll take kind of that, that hard stance with Emma?
I'd love for her to work and understand, just how hard it is.
Yeah.
Right? And I got a job fairly early on, teaching swimming and then lifeguarding.
Yeah.
And I remembered learning, doing the math, how many dollars per hour do I earn?
Yeah.
Okay, I want a drum set. That was a big thing for me.
Nice.
I wanted a drum set, and I wanted to pay for it.
Okay.
And it's the cost of a drum set, and how hard do I have to work?
Yeah.
And understanding I also want to save, because I grew up with this mentality. It's like, you got to squirrel away money. It's super important for your future.
Yeah.
And save for things like education. I wanted to try and help pay for university and stuff like that. So, I had that conflict. I want things.
Of course.
I'm a kid.
But you're a kid, yeah.
Shiny things, nice things.
Yeah.
Things that I see my friends have. But I want to put myself in a position where I can be successful in the future. So
yes,
that kind of dichotomy. And it's true. It's true for all adults right now, too. It's but I think learning money management, and I don't think I was sat down and taught a hard lesson. Here's 9 things you need to know about money management. But through just, seeing how hard my parents work and just understanding money, how hard it is to earn a dollar and save that dollar, I think it's really helped me in my life and my kind of financial health and understanding. And I definitely want my daughter to learn those lessons too.
Okay.
I don't want to give her things.
Well, you do.
You do.
You
I
do.
have that, that feeling inside. I want to provide for her. I want to give her a better life than even I had, and I had. But at the same time, I want her to work and earn what's hers.
And to understand it, right?
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of a different background, like you and your wife Nicole. You're both educators. You're teachers.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So
11 years now.
Yeah. So sometimes I look at even my own kids. My wife's a teacher as well, and I'm like, it's great. We're going to support them. We're going to kind of teach them and show them the things that not necessarily they're going to learn in the classroom. But at the same time, I don't want to kind of pave everything for them. I want the kids to fail. I want them to understand the concept of resilience and picking yourself back up and it being on them. Right? Do you think having an educator's background, being teachers, is going to help you with that, or is it just so different? They are your students, and then these are your children, right?
Yeah, no, I honestly I've learned so much, even just in feels like a short 11 years as a teacher, that I feel I can bring back. Now it is different. I'm not anyone's parent, obviously, when I go to school and go to work, but there are moments when kids are going through tough times in school, and and I reflect on this a lot. There've been some kids over the 11 years that have gone through stuff, that have come to me, I know have come to you as well, really hurting, and at that time you throw that teacher hat away and you just want to be there for them, not as their parents. Obviously they have parents, but there's so many lessons I've learned about just listening and not being judgmental and just hearing a kid out and all that too. And I feel I'm going to definitely take a lot of that kind of into my dad role. And obviously this is my first child as well, so I'm learning every day. But absolutely, I think being around kids and just loving being around kids and good, bad, ugly, blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
It's definitely shaped me as a father, for sure.
It has, and it will, because, in the course of your teaching career, you've taught thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Whether in the classroom or on the courts, like in the gym, like thousands of kids that come through your door. And every kid is different.
Every single one.
And every kid, even like when I was a teacher, I looked at it as like, that's a learning opportunity for every child that comes through. So you build this like crazy capacity, not only as a teacher and as a human being, but absolutely as a father. And I'll go on to admit, having my daughter, transformative in my teaching and in my personal life. Because not that I didn't realize all of the inequities that existed between men and women. Even now, like you look at some of the Fortune 500 companies, like just the sheer, like dichotomy between how many CEOs are males versus females.
Yeah, we both have daughters, so we pay closer attention now.
And I think that was the thing. And I remember when Jordan was born, and I was like, starting to become, I wouldn't say that I wasn't proactive before, like, promoting how amazing women are, like in jobs and everything. But having a daughter made me more cognizant of everything that I taught day to day.
Absolutely.
To make the conscious effort and decision to also highlight just how incredible women are, right? Even further than just, their male counterparts. Like, it just doesn't always have to be, direct competition, but it's like there are females who are way, way better
absolutely
in their field than like anyone else,
and are the most important beings that there are on the earth, right?
Yeah. So like, I guess my question is, has it changed you as a teacher? Like
100%.
Okay.
100%.
How?
When we found out that I was having a daughter, I think instantly, just my worldview changed.
Yeah.
And it translated to in the classroom.
Yeah.
And lessons as well. I think you and I, and some of the things that I know, because I've been your teaching partner for so many years, we've always brought kind of inequalities and inequities to the classroom. And I get it, there's a curriculum and we have to teach kids how to read, write, and all that, but I know a big focus for us is talking about, what's not just, right? What are the social injustices in the world? And that was a big one. I think really kind of honed in on, why in 2019 right, is there still such a crazy dichotomy?
Yeah.
A man and a woman have the exact same job description, do the exact same work. And I don't have the stat in front of me right now, but by and large, the men are getting paid more.
Yeah.
And it's not right.
Yeah.
And as a man, I as a dude, to stand up and say that's not right, I think there's a lot of power in that. And bringing that to the classroom and being able to kind of share that, I think is important. And not even share that, not tell them, but have kids explore and realize like just how many inequalities there are, that being one of them.
Do you think because we taught in the elementary panel that the kids are too young to really fully understand that?
No. Especially not in grade 7, grade 8, where we've had almost all of our experience. Absolutely not. I think that their minds are incredible. There's a lot of, my wife's a grade 1 teacher, right? And her role is so different. I see it so different.
Oh, yeah.
She's teaching kids how to read, like a foundational, it's super important. And they come to us. They know how to read.
Yeah.
Right? And so I see our view as educators so different.
Yeah.
Right? Just being able to open their eyes up to what's going on, to see that the world exists in a very significant way around their sphere, around their bubble.
Yeah, yeah.
And to teach what does it mean to be like a kind person, a good member of society, and understand global inequalities, and even realize that they can do something about it. That's actually some of the proudest work that we've done.
I love that you brought that up.
Yeah, it's the proudest work that we've done. It's over these 11 years, I've loved so many things, but some of the things that stand out the most are when we've been able to give back.
Yes.
And
it's that social awareness.
Absolutely.
That morality piece, like building capacity, formulating that moral compass among kids, right? Empathy. Huge. Right? Like, it should be in the curriculum.
Agreed.
Like empathy, right? Sorry, I'll go off on a wicked tangent.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah.
Like,
but for example, every year when we're consistently donating 3,000, 4,000, non-perishable food items to a food bank, coming from a school of, what are we, sub 300 for a while,
yeah.
right?
We've been sub 300 for a long time.
Yeah. And just the kid, it's not even just the act of donating, but the kids really understanding how important it is, right? And there are members of our community, right, in Vaughan who go without.
Yes.
And that there are food banks and people do utilize them.
Yes.
And it is important to help provide for those who are less fortunate. And, kids that I know, even in their, privately, they don't have a lot at home. But for them to still come out, take a few bucks, not go blow it on the Dollarama across the street, but to say, you know what, I'm going to go and find, how can I make these few dollars that I do have, and make them stretch and then donate all that food. It's been incredible.
I want to, if it's okay, I want to share an experience. We do a lot of social justice action pieces in the class, and I remember for years and years and years, I used to do, can you live on $1 a day? Yeah. Can you live on $1?
I remember this.
I did remember that.
It's powerful.
And the thing is like, here, and it really wasn't I wasn't trying to torture the kids or anything like that. Just a little bit. Yeah. But I wanted them to just have an incredible amount of awareness with just what they had here, what they have here compared to in other parts of the world. And so the project was, you can get in groups of 4, but you need to create essentially enough sustenance or buy enough sustenance to last you the entire day. And we would walk over to No Frills. And No Frills was probably about 2-3 kilometers away. And I always made sure we did in the wintertime.
Yeah.
In the wintertime. And I remember coming back after the kids just stressing like crazy at No Frills, being like, Mr. Kim, like, this is so hard. Like, what are we going to do? I'm like, you just need to feed 4 people on $1 a day. So $4. Get together. And just the sheer misery on their faces coming back, sitting in the lunchroom, and just being like, I can't believe people live like this, right? And it's not, I'm not going to say that it's exactly apples for apples, but it's just building this awareness in the kids. And then you talked about the food banks. Like, we would crush the food banks. And I remember so vividly, one grade 8 boy, we were out going out to the Vaughan Food Bank, and he wouldn't get off the bus. I was like, hey, what's going on, man? Like, we raise so much. Like, we're doing such a great thing. And he just started breaking down. And I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And it was after a few minutes just kind of talking. He was like, Mr. Kim, he's like, my dad and I used to come here.
Yeah.
When we were young, when I was younger. And for me to kind of come back right now is difficult. And I was like, okay, then I'll sit outside with you.
Yeah.
Right? Until you're ready. And if you're not ready, then I'll sit outside with you all the time.
It's hard to know.
It's so eye-opening. Even as a teacher, we try to do this for the kids that we teach, but even as a teacher, we forget. We forget the kids that come into our class, right?
Not everyone's eating breakfast. You know? Not everyone has got money for the latest kicks, and it's tough. There's families that are struggling. We don't, renting in basements and coming from other countries and trying to make it in Canada, absolutely. And this was our reality for sure. But it's big.
Can I ask you, because you're such an awesome teacher?
Thank you.
One thing that I always told the grade 8s is like, you leave these doors. Yeah. When we meet 5, 10, 20 years down the road, I'll be severely upset with you if you remember any of the academic lessons. Right? You know this about me.
Yeah.
Because then they just missed it. They didn't fully understand what we were trying to do, right? What would you say is your defining attribute as a teacher that you'll always want your kids to remember you by?
Simple. How I made them feel, like how I treated them. Like, for me, like I said, curriculum is curriculum, but you and I know, like, if you go on YouTube or you Google it, you're going to find a lesson probably better than what I just delivered.
Yes.
Or, someone that
like
is
way
more knowledgeable in whatever.
Yeah.
But I hope that the kids remember that I cared.
Yeah.
And that, I tried to bring it every single day.
Yeah.
I tried to be innovative and for them to have fun.
Yeah.
I think when I first started teaching, I was really worried about there's 20 things in the curriculum document and I got to get through all 20 and got to report on all of them and show their parents that they've learned everything so they're ready. And I quickly realized
it's not like
it's not like that. I would much rather focus in on kids feeling good, coming to school, being safe, and they will learn. This is what they will learn. And it was definitely a shift. But for me, I'm really hopeful that they understand that, and a lot like the name of your podcast, that being kind wins.
Yes.
Right? And you can carry that kindness with you forever.
Yeah.
And we can practice being kind citizens. We can practice giving back, and we can understand that the world is bigger than just our little bubble.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
And that's one thing that I always found remarkable about you, and for teachers who have share the same qualities, is just how real you are as a teacher. Not even real as a teacher, when you're teaching, how real you are to the kids. If maybe you made a little mistake here, you're like, yeah, I own that, that's on me. You don't try to cover it up, right? And in doing that, that's very powerful, right? And you will always try to connect with the kids, because let's be honest, when all the kids graduate and they come back, there's no self-promotion here, but there are two teachers they always come back to, right? And I'm not trying to say this but why I bring that up is because I agree with you. I don't think I'm the best teacher in the world. Yeah. I 100% know that you can find lessons far better than what I just taught you on the internet. But it's how we treated them.
Yeah.
With kindness. That we were not judging you.
So it's what I want my teaching legacy to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you think you ever get faulted for that, though? Or have you ever been faulted for that? Because, and I get it, we got to teach expectation 1 through 5,000 and get it done in 6 weeks. Big picture here, big picture. Do you think, I guess my question is, do you think that the schools and school boards are missing the big picture?
I think some teachers are. I think there's still a lot of teachers that are caught up in, pushing curriculum and all that. But listen, I think everyone's got their own style. And I think that's one of the things that is the best thing about teaching is that ultimately at the end of the day, a door closes and we are left largely up to our own devices to deliver the curriculum how we see fit as professionals.
Sure.
But with all that responsibility, right, comes responsibility. And listen, I'm always trying to figure out better ways to teach and to better myself. But have I been faulted? I mean, I think there's going to be some administrators that will get that I'm going to have a different approach. Yeah. And there's some going to be maybe a little bit more by the book and maybe won't get what I do and kind of my style, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. Thing is that I'm a big boy now, and I'm okay if some people don't get it. For me, if the kids are happy and they're learning, then I'm happy, and I feel like I've done my job and I've done it to the best of the ability that I can. I had a shout out to my first practicum teacher, Mr. Brian McCormack. He's wild if he ever listens to this, but
Brian McCormack, we're coming for you.
And he taught it down in Toronto, John Ross Robertson public school, and he was a wicked guy. First of all, he's the brother of I believe his name is Eric McCormack, the guy who played Will in Will and Grace.
Oh, really?
It was just wild. No. Yeah. And he's as crazy. Cool as you think he would be.
Yeah.
Just wicked, into drama and all that. And just a wickedly nice human being.
Yeah, okay.
And I couldn't have imagined a better first experience walking in, totally green, right, into the profession, and just being able to shadow him. And one of the things he always said is his first practicum teacher was this old Greek lady. Yeah. And he was wicked with accents. I'm not even going to attempt to do an old Greek lady accent, right? But he said to me, he's like, this teacher would say, there's kids, they just need to read a little bit, write a little bit, do a little bit of math, and they're going to be all right. Yeah. And he took that philosophy. He made sure the kids read a little bit, wrote a little bit, did a little bit of math, and he just filled the day with just awesomeness and fun, and he let the kids fall on their face trying things and pick themselves back up. And,
I love it.
And just enjoy life while being at school, build great,
I love it.
And have the guts to stand up in front of a class and deliver a wicked talk or whatever. You have to do so many things.
Yeah.
And it just opened my eyes up. It's like we have this crazy blank slate. There's no manual that says you will teach like this and you will perform this lessons in this order. It's on us as teachers. And he really took advantage of that. And it was fun. I'll say it was fun. And a lot of, I feel like, I try and bring a lot of that. Obviously I have a different style, but bring a lot of that to what I do as a teacher.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's really, really incredible, right? Because from very early on, you being green and just starting, just understanding that concept of teaching what we do curriculum-wise is important, but equally as important is just creating a positive, fun environment for these kids to be able to fail, which I think, parents, if you're listening, you got to let your kids fail. You have to let them fail. And I would say even as a school system, you got to let those students fail at times. I'm not saying fail them, but we have to allow them the opportunity, and I call it an opportunity, to fail. Because there's no way you're going to build grit and resilience and understand what that means if we don't allow them to do that. And this whole concept, I'm going to bring this up, is in our school board, kids in the elementary panel, they don't get failed.
We're not allowed, pretty much, yeah.
Does that go against you and your philosophy? We're getting into controversy.
That's controversial, I know. I don't know. I grew up, I guess, in
kids
school.
Failed. Yeah,
kids
they failed.
And it, and maybe they were embarrassed and they had to, repeat grade, whatever. That's tough. I think obviously now we have more supports available to make sure that kids get what they need.
Yep.
And I think it's important that we kind of provide that and catch kids before they do ultimately fail a grade or something like that.
Yeah.
But on the micro day-to-day, absolutely kids should fail.
Yes.
Absolutely, you should be able to hand back a test that says, or whatever, an assessment, be like, you just didn't meet the expectations here.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's so powerful that you said that. You hand back a failing grade or a test, and then just the way you phrase that is what are we going to do about this? Right?
Not even just what you, because I don't want to wash my hands of it too.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do about it? And I think there's tremendous power in falling on your face.
Yeah.
And I would say there's a generation of kids that are just not used to it.
Yeah.
And when it happens to them later in life as adults, are they going to know what to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to understand how to work through those feelings of, I absolutely fell on my face right now.
Yes.
I tried something and it went horribly.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't have an adult around to hold my hand through this right now. What am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
There's so much learning in failure.
Tremendous. I think the best learning comes from failure, right? And one of the videos, I'm on this crazy video journey. One of the videos I remember doing was a Facebook, Instagram Live, where I was standing inside of a house where I lost the listing, and it blew up. The DMs that I ended up getting through Facebook was just insanity. Realtors being like, "Oh my gosh, I've been so afraid to do that. It's so refreshing. It's so inspiring to see you do that."
Yeah.
Because that's the reality of it. Everything is so polished and perfect on social media, and everyone paints social media to be so bad that for me, I was I'm going to make a conscious decision that I am going to post my failures. Not only for my students that I've taught to be like, "Oh my gosh, Mr. Kim failed," but to show them that even me, your former teacher, fails, but I don't let it hold me down.
Yeah.
The big push, the number one reason for that is for my kids, Jordan and Noah, to be like, "Daddy failed at things, but it didn't hold him down."
Yeah.
He kept pushing through. And maybe it's the teacher in me.
Yeah.
That I'm using social media as a teaching platform.
It is.
To showcase people. It's not perfect and polished.
And and I know now, kind of in the classroom, so many kids are consumed with trying to create a social media kind of presence at such a young age.
Graham worthy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to only portray beauty and perfection.
Yeah.
And I think it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous. And so I think there needs to be more people on social media that post things that aren't perfect and show their failures.
Why do you think they do? Why do you think they don't? Sorry. I know why I don't think people do.
I think a lot of the media that kids are consuming is just this polished, perfect. It's you should look this way. You should, you know, and
wear this stuff, act this way.
This is what cool is. And it's being defined differently. Like when I was a kid, like we looked up to whatever, right?
Yeah.
This star, whatever.
Yeah.
That was what generated what cool is, and now cool is whatever's flying on Instagram, what's trending. It's become this crazy hashtag life, and it's kind of scary. And as a dad, like now, right, I realize that my daughter's going to grow up in this, and I don't want her understanding what of value to be what, you know, the internet says is beautiful or what the internet says is cool, right? I want her to just love herself and not be consumed with what people message, you know, or what comments they're leaving on her social media. I don't know. She's 10 months old, so I might be jumping the gun, but these are things I worry about, for sure. And
I think a lot of parents worry about the same thing. They have the same worries. I don't know. I just, even in speaking to you right now, maybe I'm going to create an account, like a Stephen Kim Holmes fail account. And it is all I'm posting on there is just everything fail worthy. Like, I don't know, right? Not in a funny way to make fun of the fails, but to show people that failing is part of living, and in doing
it's part of success too,
right? Like it truly is. But I'm okay to do that. I know a lot of people, they struggle with even doing a video, and I think even a larger percentage of the population just wouldn't post those fails because they're too concerned about about the judgment from other people. Whereas for me, like, I'd like to think I'm pretty. It's not that I don't care. I know what I do.
Yeah.
I know what's important to me, and I know what the end game is. I know where I want to go, and getting to where I want to go trumps anything else. Like the small little trolling comments, how I may feel, like my ego's bruised a little bit. That stuff doesn't matter to me. It's the end product, right? Yeah. If in doing so I'm helping to build capacity for other people, that's worth like $100 million to me. Right? I know we both kind of watch Gary Vee, and his big thing is like he wants to make kindness cool. Like he really wants to make kindness cool, right? And a lot of people think of kindness as a weakness. I heard that all the time. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. You're too kind.
I'm gonna butcher the quote. I don't. You know, it's coming off the top of my head, but something like, you know, it's nice to be important.
Yeah.
But it's important to be nice.
Yeah.
And I
love,
yeah.
That's amazing. I don't know. I heard you say it. And I just was processing it. That's a freaking amazing.
I don't know who said it. Shout out to whoever said that, but I don't remember even where I heard it. But it is important to be nice. It's important to be kind, and people need to have that as a core pillar.
Yeah. In
their life, and it's transformative. Right?
Yeah.
If you wake up every day and think about how you can be kind and you can be nice.
Yes.
Right? You're going to have a wildly different day.
Yes.
Than if you wake up.
Huge.
And you think about money or whatever, fame, success, how many likes you get on Instagram. Like, I think people need to, and maybe this is what Gary Vee's talking about, making kindness cool, right? Is if this is a true pillar in people's life, it's transformative.
Right.
It's gonna help people big time.
Help people, save lives, change the way that we do our function day to day, I think is tremendous.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Please stay tuned for part 2 next week. As always, be great, be kind, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.